Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Pelicans go down. The Suns got them 115-109 in New Orleans. So this series ends in 6 games, and you got to take your hat off to both teams. Obviously, you want to take your hat off to the winners for sure. The Suns did everything they were supposed to do. What I expected to happen took place, you guys, and I'm disappointed because I wanted the Pels to win. But for those who are Suns fans, you should be very excited right now. But Chris Paul, I mean, the man was 14 of 14. He didn't miss a shot. He didn't miss a free throw. He didn't miss a three. He didn't miss. When a guy does not miss at all and he's 14 of 14, you lost. And then you look at his center's 10 of 12, you lost. As simple as that. You're not beating that. You're never beating that. So I want to just make it very clear that the Suns were unbeatable tonight. Um, and I thought Willie Green and the Pelicans gave them all they could handle down to the very last second. You saw great plays from people like Jay Crowder and uh, Devin Booker hit a huge three down the stretch. Obviously, Bi was fully involved in this game, shooting to the very end. C.J. McCollum was a no-show. My irritation with him is overwhelming. It's high, man. It's high. But I'm not a Pelicans fan. I'm a Laker fan, so I'm just gonna sit on the sideline. But as a person who was rooting for y'all team, he picked up 5 fouls early, within like 3 quarters. They set him down. Everything was going great. They brought him back, and everything went to crap. That's how I saw it. I'm sorry. That's just how BDF saw it. I know it's not that simple, but that's how I saw it. Jose Alvarado was incredible, man, and he deserved that foul call he was asking for down the stretch. Chris Paul most definitely elbowed him in the face, um, and blood was coming out his mouth. He showed everybody. The refs didn't care because they were, it's Chris Paul, man. So that's the side of the NBA that as a fan I have a hard time with, because the announcer said it. He was like, you're a rookie. You're not going to get that call against a Hall of Famer, and I understand that, and I don't like that. If that makes any sense, like I understand a person does certain things in this league, they deserve to have their calls. I used to say the same thing. Shaq's not getting his calls. Kobe's not getting his calls. LeBron's not getting his calls. So when you're when you're rooting for one of those guys, you definitely want to see them get that extra cachet. You don't want to see no rookie get no. You don't want to see that. But if you're rooting for the rookie, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you just want them to call the foul. Forget all that. Superstar, no superstar. Call the foul if you see it. Don't let a guy get hit in the face, bleeding, showing the whole arena, and y'all just say, nah, we didn't see that because it was Chris Paul. I don't think you can actively justify that when you consider that it's not the fans. It's not the player that you're actually punishing. It's the fans. And let the consumer not ever forget that when they give the Hall of Famer the call. No, they didn't give the Hall of Famer the call. They gave the other team the call, who happens to have the Hall of Famer rostered on the team. So, I don't love that. I don't love that. I think they need to take a look at that. But all in all, there was some good play tonight. I mean, when you consider, like I said, Ayton missed only 2 shots. Chris Paul didn't miss a shot. That was a record set for the most consecutive shots. I think it was in the playoffs. Most consecutive. I think it was something like that. I'm not sure if that's a record or if it was. It hasn't been done in a very long time. But either way, Chris Paul set a standard for consecutive shots made in a playoff game. So 14 to 14. What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? And that was exactly what I told you guys. If you watch my pregame video, I said, all the things about this series that I like. The Pels, they fought hard. The matchups favor them and all that. But it's just Chris Paul, man. The greatness of Chris Paul, the circumstance he's in, having this be maybe his last hurrah, his best chance at a championship. I just can't see him allowing these team full of kids to ultimately defeat him. Yeah, you can get some games. Yeah, you guys fought hard, but when it's time to seal the deal, I just put my money on Chris Paul. And I cashed out. Because at the end of the day, I've been watching basketball for my whole life. Chris Paul's been a mainstay in this league for more than half of that time. And one thing I always understood about Chris Paul is He could do things that didn't make no sense. Like, and what I mean by that is he could will himself towards stuff in a way that's just like beyond, you know. And what I'm referring to is when his grandfather passed away, rest in peace, and he scored a point for every year the gentleman had lived, you know, in high school, and then, you know, airballed a free throw to assure he didn't score an extra point. And to will himself to do that as a child, as a high school person who was grieving, that let me know that he had a special uh, gift that was far beyond. You know what I mean? That helps you understand that their ability to do something special like that uh, will someday come again. And believe it or not, that's exactly what he did tonight. He did another one of those super miracles where he did not miss a shot in a playoff game to close a team out that was favored to beat him, that had defensive players all over the league, all over the place, that has one of the best young defensive players in the world in Jose Alvarado, hounding him 100% of the time. And he, in that environment, on the road, didn't miss a shot. It's impressive to do that in any game. It's impressive to do that against bad defense. It's impressive to do that in the gym by yourself. But to do it in a playoff game, closeout playoff game on the road against a defender like that, who's about half your age, that's one of the greatest regular playoff performances. And I say regular because it's not the finals, but that's one of the greatest first round playoff performances in my memory. I don't remember a guy doing nothing like this, you know. And that was just exactly what I told you guys I was worried about. Simple as that. As somebody who was rooting for the Pels, that was what I was worried about. You got to give Larry Nance his credit, man. He came out and answered the bell. I called his name out in the video. Said that he needed to play better since he played poorly in the previous game, and he showed up and showed out, including getting the last drive that cut the game to 3. Clutch playoff plays. Give your team a chance. You got to give Larry his credit. He did that. So Mikal Bridges had another good game. He's well on his way, doing what he needs to do to help his team in that next round. If it's Dallas or Utah, I'm pretty sure he's going to carry that forward. You saw a little bit of what we talked about earlier, and it only reared its ugly head in one or two plays that I was able to see in the fourth quarter where Valanciunas was on the floor and they were able to string together a 3 or 2 that he wasn't able to get out to, and they removed him from the floor. When they did that, it might have helped them guard the 3, but it ultimately left them a little shorter than they needed to be, although Larry held it down very well. That was just the Achilles heel. The very thing that I thought would ultimately hurt them really, truly did help hurt them when it mattered the absolute most. Because the 3 that Cam Johnson shot that, you know, Valanciunas wasn't anywhere near able to get to, I think put them up by 4. I think that's how that went. And it was one of those situations where they had just hit a 3 or something like that before that. And you just started seeing that, you know, the Suns just make 1 or 2 more plays than the Pelicans. It wasn't any situation where you actually thought that the Suns was running away with this game or anything like that. The Pelicans had a chance, had the lead, all of that. But they just weren't able to make that one last play, hit that free throw, get that last stop or what have you. So, you know, we look up and I said Devontae Graham didn't play. You know, I looked at his numbers and said, you know, I'd love to see him get some minutes. Since CJ was cold, you would love to see Danny just call his number. Green, Coach Green. So I just, you know, you do the best you can. I think the Pelicans are in a good position to feel great about next season. They're going to have a fantastic pick coming from us, more than likely. And they also have their own pick. Obviously, they got these young kids that they're excited about on rookie contracts, which means they should have some money to spend. They just picked up C.J. McCollum. I'm pretty sure they're excited about keeping him, even though I hate his game as of right now. I don't think they should feel that way. and they just need to find themselves a glue guy, somebody who can help get the ball to everybody. Um, you know, CJ's not required to make plays. You know, they miss Alonzo Ball type guy, so they're gonna need to get them a guy like that. Maybe trade Devontae Graham since they're not using him properly, and get a passer down there, somebody who can think like that. Um, yeah, so it's a lot of good, about the Pelicans, man. I was very disappointed with a lot of teams in these playoffs, but the New Orleans Pelicans definitely were not one of them. They earned their way into these playoffs, and they put up a hell of a fight against who most believe is the best team in the Western Conference. So if that isn't something to hang your hat on, I don't know what is. There are going to be a lot of teams who get knocked off in these playoffs. They're not going to feel as good about their season as the Pelicans do right here. I'll tell you that. Some of them are going to go in the second round, some will go in the third round, and they're not going to feel as good about their season as the Pelicans do right now. So I take my hat off to them and applaud them for doing what they had to do and making the Suns feel every bit of these games. Now the Suns move on, get ready to play the winner of the Dallas-Utah series, which probably should conclude tonight if Dallas takes care of business. And we'll be talking about that series if it happens. So I got more to talk to you guys about, of course. The Toronto and Philadelphia series just concluded. And, of course, we'll talk about this Utah-Dallas series as well at the conclusion of that game. So my name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.